The glasses are going on for this video. It's not because I'm actually a nerd, but you guys will trust me more because I look smart. So I haven't studied once this entire year. And guess what? I'm still getting all A's. In my entire life, I've only ever gotten one B. I have a 4.35 GPA right now, and I'm getting these grades while on self-improvement, while going to the gym basically every single day, and being a content creator. You probably have that one friend that always gets better grades than you, somehow always gets better grades than you, even though they don't work harder than you. It seems like they can get all A's without even trying. Back in middle school, I remember all of my friends, we would all gather around in a circle. We all take out our phones and check what we got on a test we all took. We would all be asking each other, oh, what'd you get on that test? What'd you get on this test? And I always had the highest grade, except for the very rare times someone did extremely well on the test, and they would be like, oh my gosh, Maxwell, I did better than Maxwell, I did better than Maxwell. And they'd start tweaking out because I would always have the highest score. And you probably feel how all my friends felt when your smart friend gets a higher grade than you, and you are missing something that they're getting. It's not that they're smarter than you naturally, it's that they get something that you are not getting. The philosophy that I have with school is to put in the least amount of work possible to get the grade that I want. I used to work insanely hard in school. I was a school tryhard. I was a perfectionist, and I did get good grades because of that. But what I didn't realize is that being a perfectionist is not actually better, it's counterproductive. In order to get the best grades possible, you have to work smarter and not harder. It's not about how much work you put in, it's about the type of work that you put in. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not telling you to not try in school or to not study or do your work. I personally don't study at home. I don't do any schoolwork at home. I get all my stuff done in class, and granted, my classes are a bit easier this year, but I'm still able to do that and get all A's. Again, I'm not telling you to stop trying in school. I'm just showing you how I put in minimal effort and still get the grades that I want, that look good to my parents, and that everyone's happy with. Except if I'm being completely honest, I don't care at all about school. I just try to get my work done so I don't have to do it at home, and tests are tests. I take them and I usually do pretty good. If you pair what I tell you to do in this video with effective studying, not hard, extremely stupid perfectionist studying, with real effective studying, you will surpass everyone in your school, and everyone's going to be looking at you like, how did they do it? I'm like the jack nerd right now. There are two things that you have to get right if you want to perform well in school. And the two things are diet and sleep. And I know what you're thinking. Maxwell, I didn't come here for you to tell me to improve my diet and improve my sleep. I want the real juicy secrets. There are no secrets. I know you watch those videos on how to be that student, on how to get insanely good grades with this new crazy method. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to tell you to use the Pomodoro technique. This video is almost entirely going to be about focus, on being able to lock in and actually give your full attention to something. It is that important for your ability to perform in school. And the two biggest factors that affect your focus are your diet and your sleep. For your diet, the first thing I'm going to talk about isn't even about the type of foods that you're eating. It's about when you eat. Because you probably go down, you have a big ass American breakfast, you have your toast and your bacon, your eggs, everything, you're just shoveling it down your throat before you go to school, you have a bagel or something, and you're wondering why you can't focus in school. It's because your stomach is bloated, you're fat, it's full of carbs, and the blood that should have been going to your brain is now going to your gut. You need to start intermittent fasting, or at least having a very low or no carb breakfast, and a small breakfast at that. I'm sorry to you guys who are bulking right now, I understand your pain. It's because all of your blood is going up here to increase your brain points, and none of it is going down here to your gut to digest food. My school during nutrition break gives out these snacks, and the snacks that they give out are sugary, they're high carb, right? It's like pastries, sweets, and probably half the school goes and gets nutrition. It's funny how they call that nutrition, bro. But the people that go and get those snacks and eat those snacks, they're probably 20 to 30% dumber because of it. And it's not even 2 hours after they wake up and they're already putting that shit into their body. You are not going to be able to compete with the person who's intermittent fasting. You're not going to be able to compete with someone like me. And I know not everybody has an option, but they just give out the worst foods at school. They give out Doritos, pizza, estrogenic chocolate milk with high sugar. All of this is not only terrible for you, but it's absolutely tanking your focus. And let me actually touch on real quick why carbs are bad for your focus. When you have pasta, just think about the last time you had pasta. You know how you get a really bloated stomach, and if you eat a lot of it, you feel fat, you feel tired, you feel like doing nothing? That's because carbs take a lot for your body to process. They make you slow, fat, and dumb. You are genuinely probably 20 to 30% slower when you eat the high carb, high sugar stuff that the school gives out. If you're eating food with all these chemicals and this weirdly processed high sugar, spice, like all this terrible red 40, you are not going to be able to have an ounce of focus. The best option is to have your own meals, to not eat anything at school, to skip breakfast entirely and wait until lunch. And absolutely no junk food. You have no excuse to be eating it. There are people at my school that have liters of soda, and a lot of people have hot chips. They have Takis, Flaming Hot Cheetos. These things will destroy your focus. Start intermittent fasting, cut out the junk food, cut out the terrible school meals if you can, and start eating low to no carb lunches. When I have like sweet potatoes at lunch, I genuinely feel the drop off when I go to math class. I feel tired and brain dead. I have no energy. You will start to notice this drop off when you implement this step, when you start taking these action steps seriously. And one final thing, if you don't want to skip breakfast, the literal best breakfast you can have is eggs. Just get 4 scrambled eggs, mix them up in a bowl, put some butter on the pan, wait for it to melt, pour the eggs on the pan, and then wait for it to cook and scarf it down in like 3 minutes. Eggs are super good for you. They're a superfood, low carb. It's great. It's in my opinion the best breakfast that you could have. And I'm sorry for you guys on the bulk. It's difficult to be bulking and to also be really focused, but just try to find the right balance, because you have to know for a fact that you will perform worse when your brain is on carbs. That's the reality. And junk food as well is poison for your brain. When you push your first meal back, you stop eating so many carbs, you don't eat junk food anymore, you will start to see such an increase in your ability to focus and your mental clarity. There's going to be so much less brain fog. But even if you have the best diet in the world, if you still are getting terrible sleep, you're gonna feel like shit. We all know how supremely important sleep is. After this video, you're no longer gonna be staying up till 3 a.m. scrolling on your phone, because that's unacceptable. When you get terrible sleep, you have a terrible life. Which is why I'm gonna give you a very simple sleep protocol to follow. The first thing that you must do if you wanna maximize your focus is get at least 8 hours of sleep. When you're super tired, you're sleep deficient, you are going to have no ability to focus. We all know this. 8+ hours of sleep, no excuses. The next thing is that you have to not be on your phone after a certain time. Pick a certain time like 8 p.m. where you go into another room, you take your phone into another room, and you place it in a drawer, and you don't get it until the next day. Because I swear, if you leave it in your room, if it's around you, you're gonna go on it. You're gonna go on it, you're gonna scroll to 3 a.m., and you're gonna wake up the next morning like, why did I do that? I feel like crap. The light from your phone absolutely messes with your internal clock and your sleep, and so does overhead lights. So when you have overhead lights on, your brain is thinking it's daytime. So what you really should be doing is, after the sun sets, after there is no more sun, turn off all the overhead lights in your house. And if you do need light, the best source is from a candle, because they have a very low light intensity. And try to keep all the lights that you have below your eye level. It's better for your sleep. Optimally, you're off your phone and your computer an hour before you go to bed. But I know that's not going to happen every single night. The best that you can do is turn on night shift on your phone and computer, or night light if you have a Windows computer. And like I said before, make sure to turn all the overhead lights off in your house after the sun sets. And the last part of this protocol is to go out and get morning sunlight. Look at this beautiful sunlight. The highest ROI activity for your health that you can ever do is to just get 5-10 minutes of morning sunlight. It boosts your mood, it wakes you up, and it improves your sleep. All you need to do is go outside, look in the direction of the sun, not directly at it, in the direction of it, for 5 minutes. If there's no clouds, 5 minutes is all you need. But if it's pretty cloudy, you have to start pushing it to more like 15-25 minutes. I know with school, that's not possible for everyone, so just do what you can. This simple protocol will literally get you better sleep than 90% of the population. So make sure there's a time that you have to put away your phone at night. Turn on those night light settings on your phone and computer. Try to turn off all lights after sunset and use candles for natural good light. And every morning, try to go out and get morning sunlight. And it's also good to get evening sunlight, but I'm not putting that in this protocol because I don't do that all the time. It's best to get both, but if I were to pick one, get morning sunlight. And I almost forgot, make sure to get 8+ hours of sleep every night if that's possible for you. Even if it's difficult, stick to this protocol as closely as you can. Because if you do, your brain is going to be working at a such higher level than everyone else around you, than everyone else in your school, and honestly, most people in the world. The other thing that you must do to get good focus is be on a dopamine detox. And this is not a challenge, this is a lifestyle change. And it has to especially be in school. Yesterday, I was in history class and we're watching a documentary, and I look around the classroom and literally every person is scrolling. Every single one of them is head down, scrolling with their thumb away on their little phone, on their little device. Nobody is watching the documentary. And you know what's funny? I actually wanted to script that class, but the documentary distracted me from scripting. The thing that distracted me that I found pretty captivating was something that everyone else in my class couldn't even focus on. That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference between your focus and my focus. While you're in class, scrolling, playing video games, watching videos, I'm sitting there present, unless I am scripting a video, which I have been doing a lot recently. Not only am I more focused in class, I have no distractions. I am undistracted in class. Do you really expect to retain anything for the test if you are constantly distracting yourself with stimuli? It doesn't matter even if you get good sleep or have an amazing diet without the dopamine detox, because let's say you're distracted all the time. Even if you could have have better focus than other people in your class, it wouldn't matter because you're just sitting there scrolling or playing games on your phone or playing games on your computer. If you truly want good grades and if you want to have good focus, no more scrolling in class, no more playing video games in class. It's actually unacceptable. The reason I retain things that other people don't retain is because I am much more present than other people. I'm actually taking in what the teacher is giving. Because when you're completely consumed by a distraction, when the teacher is trying to give the information, you're gonna remember none of it. Every single day from now on when you're in school, I want you to put your phone in some spot in your backpack where you don't go on it the entire school day. This is easy for me now. I don't need to go on my phone. Force yourself to not play video games on your computer or watch videos. If you really want to perform well on the tests, you are going to have to be present in class. When you're on a dopamine detox, when you're not scrolling in class, when you have good sleep and a good diet, you are going to be able to focus like never before. And it's going to be extremely easy to outcompete everyone in your school because they're brain dead compared to you. Those three things will maximize your focus and really help you get better grades. And I'm going to briefly go over effective study. Even though I don't study, if I did, I would get better grades. I would actually perform better if I did some deep work studying. Because that's really what studying is. If you're watching this video and you do study, I imagine you study a lot. You're like flipping through the textbook, reading every single line, every single word, thinking it's gonna actually help you on the test. You are studying like a dumbass. You're studying completely wrong. You shouldn't be trying to cram every piece of information into your brain because that doesn't serve you at all. If you want better results, study less, but actually study what's going to be on the test and study effectively, study intensely. Don't just have some 5-hour studying session where you're distracted and not doing anything productive. The traditional way of studying makes you burnt out. You don't actually remember anything. It's counterproductive. Effective studying is not about reading the textbook or studying for hours and hours on end. It's about understanding what's going to be on the test. Because school is a game. We're not really there to learn. We're there to get a good grade and then move on with our lives. So you might as well play the game with the odds in your favor. Basically, the only thing that matters is the exam, the tests. And when you actually think about it, you kind of know what's going to be on the test. You know what's important. Your teacher probably says, remember class, these things are going to be on the test. This is really important. Remember this. If you think about what you spend the most time on in class, what your teacher goes over the most, that's what's going to be on the test. For math, just take a couple of new problems from each of the new concepts you learned and then do those for a couple of days. And if you can get them all right, you can get them right on the test. For history, don't try to study every single date and every single war. Just remember what are the big topics that we focus on? What are the important historical figures that we covered? And just study those things. If you go through it like this for all of your classes, you won't be studying like a stupid person anymore. You'll actually remember what's going to be on the test, so you'll get the results that you want. Study smarter, not harder, and you'll actually get better results. When you decide to study for 5 hours and you say, oh, I studied for 5 hours last night and I stayed up so late, that wasn't studying. That was a complete waste of time. Use your time to study effectively. It really doesn't take that much to prepare for an exam. The glasses are coming back off. It's me again. And now that I think about it, effective studying is also about your ability to focus and not get distracted. So at the end of the day, your ability to get good grades is directly tied to your ability to focus. If you can focus really well, then you're gonna get good grades. This is the unconventional way to get good grades and perform well in school. Because the truth is, you actually learn more by doing this. Follow these steps. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it because in the end, you're gonna be putting in less effort to get better grades. Never stop improving. You'll be grateful for it later.